All right, synthetic division is a shortcut for long division, and it's actually what we will use the most. Because it's a shortcut, we can use division to find factors, and we use factors to find zeros. And remember, we said zeros is one of the most important thing that we can find in a function. So in the next lesson, 3.4, we're going to do that a lot. We're really going to focus on the zeros, and we're going to use synthetic division to do that. So if we set up our synthetic division, the shortcut is, and it only works if you're dividing by a leading coefficient of 1 with your x value. So you cannot have a number out in front of that 1, or sorry, out in front of the x. It can only be x and then plus or minus something. And when you do that, your synthetic division, you're going to put a number out in front, and I usually put it in a little box, and then you're going to put only the coefficients after that. And you're going to make sure you don't need to add in any zeros. So if we look at our exponents, we've got 3, 2, 1, 0. So we're good there. So the coefficients I would set up are 5, -8, -1, and -6. And then what I would divide by is I'm going to look over here at my x minus 2. But remember, whenever you pull anything out of parentheses, we change the sign. So this would be like x equals +2. So we're dividing out in front by a +2. Okay. The shortcut then is to, I'm going to leave a little bit of space there and draw a line, drop the first term. So that would just be 5. Multiply back, so 5 times 2 is 10, and that goes underneath the next term. And then we combine those terms together. So if we take -8 and a positive, that's a +10, right? So -8 plus 10, that is a +2. And then I repeat, I multiply that 2 back, that's 4, a +4. And then I combine together, so -1 plus 4 is a +3. Multiply that back, that's a +6. Combining like terms, -6 plus 6 is 0. This last term will always be your remainder. So this has a remainder of 0. And then your answer will always be 1 degree less than what you started with. So if we started with x to the third, that means that this is going to be an x squared. This would be my x, and then the 3 would be the constant. And then the 0 is my remainder. So if I write out my answer here, and all it's asking us to do is to divide, the answer is 5x squared plus 2x plus 3, and then there's no remainder. So there's my answer using that using the shortcut for long division, which is synthetic. So let's do that one more time. Letter B, this would be another good one to try on your own. So if we look at what we're dividing by x plus 3. So remember, that means that we need to change the sign. So x is going to be -3. So we put -3 in front, and then we look at all of our coefficients. So we'd have 1, -10, -2, +4. And then we look at our exponents. We've got a 4, but then it jumps to 2. So we need to keep in mind, we need a placeholder. We need a 0x to the third in there. So now we have 4, exponent 4, exponent 3, then 2, then 1, then 0. So one of our coefficients has to be 0. So if we write out those coefficients, we'd have 1, 0, -10, -2, +4. So don't forget to check and see if you need to add a 0 in. And then we will just continue our process. So if we drop the first term, draw a line, drop the first term, multiply back, 1 times -3 is -3. Combine like terms, 0 minus 3 is -3. Multiply back, -3 times -3 is a +9. So -10 plus 9 is a -1. Multiply back, -1 times -3 is a +3. If I do -2 plus 3, that is a +1. Multiply back, 1 times -3 is -3. 4 minus 3 is a +1. So we do have a remainder here, which is fine. And then when we write out our answer, we started with an x to the fourth. So that means this is going to be x to the third, x squared, x, and our constant. So if I write this out for my answer using this, I would have 1x to the third minus 3x squared minus 1x plus 1 for my constant, and then plus 1 for the remainder, so I need to write that remainder as a fraction over whatever we divided by, which is x plus 3. So there's our answer for that synthetic division.